Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri last August. And that was one of the reasons we decided to track race relations this week. All week long, we've been thinking about President Abraham Lincoln's legacy on race by following the route of his funeral procession to Springfield, Illinois, 150 years after his death. Scott Trossel wrote a book about Lincoln's final journey home, and he told us what it was like in Indianapolis when the president's train arrived on April 30th, 1865.
And there was so much rain that the streets had turned into a sea of mud. It was ankle deep, so they decided they would take the coffin directly from Indianapolis Union Station over to the State House and commence the viewing immediately. And people stood in the rain. One of the reporters described them as looking like drowned rats.
But they had to be there. We're using Lincoln's final journey as a chance to reflect on modern-day race relations. Here now's Peter O'Dowd has been following the rift between the black community and police while he travels the route. He reports from Indianapolis, the city struggling to contain a surge in violence among young black men.
Police department, anybody inside, make yourself known, or you may be shot.
Officer Lona Douglas at work on the west side of Indianapolis. She's just entered a home with her gun drawn. There's no one inside, but Sherry King's door jamb is busted.
You work hard, you go to work, and this is what you come home.
And her flat-screen TV is gone.
I love my neighbors. They're old. They don't bother. They look out. You know what I mean? So I've never had an issue. Never. Guess somebody just taking their chances today. See how it goes.
Unit 3, the shots fired at Foreman. Both cars went the same direction with each other on 10 and next.
Back inside her patrol car, Officer Douglas says this neighborhood is one of 6 high-crime areas that Indianapolis is trying to turn around.
But that's kind of why this area can be
Do you mind calling me and explain that?
dangerous. 1 minute you're just taking a burglary report, the next minute you're responding to someone who's been shot.
Last year, police counted 138 murders in Indianapolis, up 44% from 2012. When police could identify suspects, they were far more likely to be young black men. And about 60% of the victims, also young black men. All this comes at a time when the nation is gripped by a debate over police tactics and the eroding trust between police and the black community. That's not lost on Officer Douglas, who's white.
Like if if I'm involved in a shooting, I feel like I'm going to be targeted at this point because it's what's going on in the nation. But my main priority is getting home to my family right now. So I'm gonna do what I have to do to survive, and then I will explain it when the time comes.
For 20 years, Indianapolis has had this problem. 30 years.
Police Chief Rick Hite blames the murders on the same kind of drug crimes that New York and other major cities went through in the 1980s.
So they done a great job of staving it off. But now, because of the exposure of Indianapolis, the size of Indianapolis, people think they can come here to wreak havoc, and it just won't happen. We can't just judge our city's health on the homicide rate.
This is the chief's boss, Public Safety Director Troy Riggs.
We have to look at those root causes.
Riggs says more than 90% of the murders were committed by suspects with a criminal history, and 81% of the victims had a criminal record.
What that is telling us is that our police department is doing a very good job of arresting the right people, the violent offenders, only to see them getting back on the streets quickly.
I see a statue of Abraham Lincoln on your bookshelf there. What do you think